Hey, let's say George Clooney made you a promise. George Clooney.
I have no idea who the guy was.
You know George Clooney?
No.
You don't know who George Clooney is?
I have no idea.
Well, let's say you knew who he was and he made you a promise. You expect him to keep it, right? Are you cycling here?
I guess.
Okay. You don't know who George Clooney is?
No.
You don't know who that is? Wow.
We're from China, so...
You're from China?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're international students, so we probably don't know that.
I'm glad we had a chance to chat here. I shoot my late night talk show from right here in my van.
Oh!
Do you think that I can take the show to China?
No, it's okay.
They wouldn't like it there either.
No.
They call him J.R. Diggs, man with the van. I don't know where he came from, don't know where he's been.
I've been trying to get George Clooney on the show. For those of you who have been watching these last few weeks, I was able to track him down, but that didn't go so well. And the second time I tracked him down, well, he actually promised that he would come on the show and he'd get right here in the van with us for an interview, but then he didn't show up. So had to get the show back on the road, and this week I've got the next best thing to Clooney booked as a guest in the show for an interview, and I'll be spending the entire episode with him from right here in the van.
Well, he is the host of a Canadian show, doing all that he can to stay afloat. They call him J.R. Diggs, man with a van. Oh yeah, he's J.R. Diggs, man with a van.
Well, okay. As I hoped and pleaded in a desperate attempt to get a guest, not a desperate attempt. No, this isn't a desperate.
No harm, no foul.
Well, there's sometimes there's no harm, no foul. Oh,
That's what I said.
But no,
When you say talk show, you really mean we just talk. I say something, you say something.
Right. See, I could learn. Maybe this. Not only do I have a guest on the show, it's Brent Butt, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. That's good that you're being friendly and very.
Hello, JR's family.
Yeah.
And anybody else who stumbles across it.
Oh, you do know the show. That's the only people watching the show. I'm adjusting my microphone as we speak because I realize that I don't have a whole lot of people, as you can tell, but I thought maybe if I'm talking this way to you the whole time, this is that's kind of your camera, I guess.
All right. I get to take that with me?
No, because I need that desperately because we're still trying to track down
So
Clooney.
that's not really my camera, is
No,
it?
well, people get to look at you through that spot.
But now he's pointing at you.
Oh yeah, thank you. And then this is supposed to be mine, but I don't know how that's going to work out. But this is all just going fine.
It's a nice van. It's got carpet in the ceiling.
It's a fantastic van.
Yeah.
That's not carpet on the ceiling. That's
Are we upside down then? Am I defying gravity somehow? I didn't even know I had the ability. Well, what
It's
is that
plush.
then? It's not porcelain. What do you?
No, it's it's not carpet.
Oh, it's like velvet or something.
Velvet. Yes.
That's even classier.
Yeah, and the oak in 1990.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Clooney was freaked out about. I'm not going to give up on this. Okay, we're going to get him on the show, but until that time, I'm going to talk to you.
Sure. I'm good. I'll fill in.
No, you're the best. You are.
I'm the George Clooney of Canada.
No, of the prairies.
Of the prairies?
Yes.
Wow, you're really limiting me. I don't even live in the prairies anymore.
You don't?
No, I've lived in Vancouver for 20 years.
Well, you have?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But because of Corner Gas, everybody thinks, and you're always
Not everybody. Like a few people. A few people who drift through life not caring about the truth.
Oh, that's me.
That's you. I'm lumping you into that group of
I've
people.
been living this lie, as you can see, that I'm a talk show host, and thanks so much for bailing me out. Quite frankly, here you are. You're in the on the show. You're in the van.
It's just another case of me pulling Clooney's ass out of the fire. This is like,
true.
Put this on the pile. At times I've saved his bacon.
Yeah, but this time for sure. I thought, it was all set up. We tracked him down, and I thought for sure he would come on the show and get in the van, and clearly that didn't work out.
He's not to be trusted. He's irresponsible.
Right.
He's made it to the top despite his lack of commitment to the craft. That's how I would sum him up.
Do you think that he was just nervous about
He was probably intimidated by it.
by me?
Yeah, he was probably intimidated by you and your professionalism. That's what it was. He was afraid he was going to come off like some kind of hokey street chump.
For sure. Or you think it was the van? You think
Yeah, there might be. I
You're
could see
impressed by the van.
I could see where people would not want to get into a van with a guy they don't know. I buy that.
We don't know each other really, do we?
Not really, no. But
We've tweeted each other.
I'm a trained killer, so I can look after myself. I make Jason Bourne look
What
like
if I
Norman Fell.
If I come at you like this, what would you do?
Oh, don't even, because you would wake up sucking on a straw in traction. That's the kind of level of. No, I don't know. I would just probably panic.
Okay, this is going to be such a good segue. Listen to this. You said I don't have any research done, or no? Did I just admit that I didn't have any research done?
I don't know.
But you're talking about fighting. You're talking about defending yourself. This is going to be a long way around. So just stick
we got
with me.
time.
Okay.
We're in a van.
Okay, we do have time. We've got the whole episode.
We can literally drive around back to this subject.
Yeah, that's right. Guess who the first comic I ever saw live was?
Nipsey Russell.
No.
No, I don't know.
This is fun. Am I supposed to have this much fun, or am I supposed to just be more serious?
There's no law against having fun.
Yeah.
Like there's an awful lot of comics. This could be. How long is your show? If I sit here and guess, Jonathan
half an
Winters.
hour. No.
Did I say Nipsey Russell?
Yes, you did. Here, let me speed it up for you so we can have an
Give me some
actual interview.
parameters.
It was you.
Oh, all right. Was it me?
Yes. So listen, the very first comic, this is a true story. Very first comic I ever saw do stand-up live. Well, it wasn't just you. It was you and a few other people.
Sure.
And it was this is so Brian Lanahan-like, right? It was 1989.
Sure.
And
I would have been very fresh.
Would you have been?
I started in February of '88. So
You did?
you caught me.
I swear, this is a true story. Summer of '89, I was spending part of my summer in Kelowna, and a group of people, I worked at a resort, we were all going to go out and go see comedy. I don't know if it would have been at a Yuck Yucks or a...
Snickers, probably.
Really? In
yeah,
Kelowna?
there was a club called Snickers.
Back then?
Yeah, it was run by another comic, Herb Dixon.
Okay.
Would run and book the shows. Yeah.
Wow. This is the long way around. Get ready. Because I laughed and remembered your bit. Have you done that in a long time? Do you remember this bit? Was this you?
Yeah,
Maybe this wasn't you.
No, the drunk guys fighting in the bar. That's the big warning. Sure, I do. That's in the repertoire.
Is it still?
I don't drop anything. I got a whole bit about flare leg pants.
Dude, explain to people what it is.
Now I'm doing my bits.
Yeah.
No, it's just about the crux. I'll tell the crux of it
Yes.
is that drunk people do this before a fight. But you don't want to appear intimidating before a fight. That doesn't make you look particularly scary. People think you're drying your nail polish or something. Run for your life. He plays piano. That kind of thing.
That was the bit. He was like, come on.
That's
come
the
on.
truncated. That's the van version.
You killed. It was so. People get the idea of what the joke was.
Sure.
And it was so funny, and you were so funny, and you're the only comic I remembered.
Well, I'm flattered.
Yeah, and then so years later, when you started to become more famous, I guess, as a comic, and then obviously you got a big show called Corner Gas, and I was like, I
know that guy.
I saw him.
But you remembered it as though I was picking a fight with you in the bar. Yeah. That guy picked a fight with
No,
me
I think you did. Yeah.
over a Snickers bar. Oh, what happened?
It was at Snickers.
It was at Snickers in a bar.
So you would have been that fresh, really?
Fresh face, apple-faced youngster, 21 years old.
What do you think of that? That I all these years
Sad.
later.
I'm depressed. Here we are, 24 years later. I'm still trying to entertain you with the same joke. Boy, talk about going around in circles. You go to here and swallow a jar of pills. Give up on it. No, it's fine.
Brought to you by Coors Light.
Do we even have lighting and stuff? Do we have good lighting? Brent looks great. You look more handsome than I would have expected you to look.
Yeah, I'm alarmingly handsome.
No,
I often put people back on their heels.
You are
with my
kind of
good looks.
Yeah, you're not bad looking.
Well, that's good. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You're not as gruesome as I thought you might be.
No, but you really.
I'll take it.
I wonder if people, do they ever say that to you?
No, you're the first person to ever have the, I don't know.
You are.
Moxie isn't the word. Audacity.
Stupidity is usually what my mom says.
Lack of social skills to say to me, hey, you're not as gruesome as I assumed you would be.
I didn't say that, but you are.
Dashing? Is that the word?
Well, you're like flirting with handsome.
All right.
You seem like
I'll take it.
jovial, and how's the weight? Are you?
I don't know. You tell me.
You look good. Is what I'm trying to do. I wouldn't.
About 225 maybe.
Are you?
Dancing dynamite. 225 pounds of action.
Is that high or low for you?
Pretty low. I spent the bulk of my adult life at about 240.
You did.
Yeah.
Were you funny or fatter?
I don't think so. I don't, because I've never been a rail.
Right.
Like at 220,
Never? Not even when you were
225.
young, like 16?
No. I was always a fat little kid,
Yeah, were you?
A little fat fatty.
Right.
Lots to eat around the Butt house,
Around the where?
The Butt house.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
my last name was Butt, right?
Yeah, I do know that.
Who do you think he had in here?
No, I'm not only
That
do
was
I
Brent
know.
Spiner. doing
Not
the interview.
only do I know you're Brent Butt, but you got an international Emmy. Did you know that?
No, we got nominated for an international Emmy.
Oh, yeah.
We lost out to a German sitcom. Those hilarious Germans.
You did.
They're a lot of laughs, those guys. You can't compete with that level of humor. So, yeah, some German show beat us out. But we got the nomination.
Wow.
They give you a little medal.
Yeah.
It goes around your neck because you're a
Really?
nominee.
Wow.
And it was like one of those,
Like with
how
an
did
Emmy
this
thing,
happen?
like the little. Like
Yeah,
the
there's a
typical
little medal
statue?
with the Emmy statue
Yeah.
engraved
Do
on
you still have it?
it. I do, yeah. Wow. I have it hanging on one of my Geminis.
Is that a rub towards me? You
No,
know
I'm
I
not
got
going to rub
nominated.
towards you in a van in any way.
You know that I got
Metaphorically.
nominated, right?
I do.
Are
This
you
is what
a
I'm telling
fan
you.
of mine at all?
I don't know if I would say of yours, but am I a fan? Sure.
Of the van?
I'm a fan of things in general? Absolutely.
What do you like the best about stuff?
Cheese, probably, if I had to put a
What's
name
your
to
favorite
it.
cheese?
I like, a good old-fashioned sharp cheddar's good. I like Havarti. I'm a big fan of Cantonar now because it's a little healthier and it still tastes delicious.
Cantonar?
Yeah. It's a British-made Gouda.
Wow.
I could do a whole cheese show. British-made Gouda, it has about half the milk fat of cheddar and low sodium, which historically means wax. It means that, oh, well, that's a terrible tasting cheese then, what you've just described.
Right.
This is the only cheese I've ever found that actually tastes really good. Cantonar, look it up.
Cantonar? Do you put crackers with your cheese?
I have. I've been known to do that.
Or do you just
yeah.
eat the cheese?
And that's generally, I'm having the cheese with something.
Grilled cheese?
On a nice frittata. I make a grilled cheese, sure.
A frittata? Do you think you're fancier than people think you are?
Probably, but that sets the bar pretty low. How fancy people think I am.
Do you think
Yeah,
people think...
I cook quite a bit. I know my way around a kitchen.
Wow. Do you think people think you really do pump gas? Or you came from a gas station?
I don't know, but there have been occasions in my life where, I would be somewhere on the road doing a show and I would stop to get gas and somebody would pull up to the pumps and then they'll see me pumping gas at the gas station and it's like you can see they're weirded out for a second. At first they're like happy and then they're kind of sad. They think, oh, his show didn't work out. Now he's actually doing it. Oh, they don't know what to think. They're a gambit of emotions.
That would be fun.
It is kind of fun. I like to puzzle
They're
people.
like, hey,
Yeah, it's weird for
pumping
people.
gas.
What are you doing this for real?
What do people do when they come up to you? What's the weirdest thing somebody's done when they come up to you and see you?
People are generally pretty cool. Some people want a hug, which is odd.
I
to,
think
to
that
hug
they-
a stranger.
I
Because I'm
think-
not naturally a hugger. I like to hug,
Yeah.
but with people who, like I hug my friends and I hug my family.
We didn't hug when we
No, we
met.
didn't hug. It would be awkward as hell, right?
Yeah.
But, it's a nice thing. It's a loving gesture, so I try to let people hug me if they want.
Right.
All right. I'm awkward as hell, Okay.
Yeah.
The only
'Cause you
thing I
seem
don't really
huggable.
like. The only thing I don't really like is there's a small percentage of the population that thinks the best way to start a conversation with a total stranger is to come up and slap you on the back as hard as they can. And I don't care for those people at all. There's no
They're usually dressed like I am.
there's
right
no
now.
excuse.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a salesman with a loose tie and a glowing red nose from a day of drinking. Hey, buddy.
Well, when you stopped Corner Gas, there must have been some people disappointed in you.
Yeah, there's people who wanted it. The network wanted it to keep going, and
Yeah.
lots of fans wanted it to keep going.
It was the most successful Canadian sitcom ever.
Yeah. Well, it was
Yeah.
it was crazy. Well, when Corner Gas was on, it was the first time in history that since they started recording, that the number one comedy on Canadian TV wasn't an American show.
Wow, the first time.
Yeah.
That's
We were
amazing.
number one. There, I have a thing that I printed off from like the, these whatever it is that shows the ratings and on
Nielsen ratings.
our finale.
Yeah.
It was Corner Gas was number one, and then it was like all the top shows of the day: House, CSI, all the others were below Corner Gas. So that's something I look at all the time.
Because people always talk now to this day, oh, what's the next Corner Gas? It's the reference point now. That
become
must have been
reference.
a hard decision to.
It was a very difficult decision. I didn't want to do it lightly. The show was still high in the ratings. We were averaging like over 1 million the show never dipped below 1 million viewers.
See, now that seems
but
dumb to me.
it would have been a sad thing. No, here's the bad play. Here's the dumb play.
Yeah.
Wait till it is on the decline.
Yeah.
Then try and convince people to do another show with you. Because now you're the guy who, geez, your show's kind of dipping. Your popularity is waning.
Okay.
I'm nothing. I'm not a strategist. But for me, the important thing to me was that the show not become less than it could be. To start shows that are on the air too long, you start to feel it. You see it coming. They're getting weak. They start maybe to repeat themselves. I never wanted to get there.
But that's a pretty gutsy move.
Well, I just listened to the show. I've said this in an interview before. I really feel like the show tapped me on the shoulder and said it would be best if I left. I'd like to go now.
Wow. But you didn't just wrap up. You already maybe were thinking, like you just said, hot. I'm the hottest guy around. And
I always said that.
Yeah.
I'd come out of the shower, stand 40 minutes in front of the mirror. I am the hottest dude around.
That would make such a good viral video. Just you in front of out of the shower.
No, it was about the show.
Yeah.
It was about the show, making sure that the show didn't wane and become less than it could be.
Most people wouldn't do that, They
Well,
would keep getting the money and keep it rolling.
That's the wrong play.
Really? I would just.
It's
milk
not like
it
we.
forever.
It's not like we short sheeted anybody. We did 107 episodes. There aren't a lot of sitcoms, even in the States, that get to do 100 episodes.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of shows.
Yeah. When you speak of the States, is that something that you would like to find, where a place that you'd like to find success, or does that matter at this point?
I mean, I love the notion of
Yeah.
having a show that's successful in the States because it's a huge market.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking to go down to the States to pursue that.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a show in Canada that airs all over the world, including the States.
And I guess that you've done that.
Yeah, and I would like to keep doing that. I'd like to do that more and more. I'd like to have a show that was, like a Canada, U.S. simulcast. That it was,
Right.
it was on whatever NBC at
Right.
Thursdays at 9 and on CTV Thursdays at 9.
Wow.
That would be the best.
That would be the first time that's ever happened.
But I could still, play with my dog in the backyard of my house in Vancouver.
Yeah. Not in the prairies. I learned that in this interview.
Yeah, this has been educational for it.
For me, it's been. And I'm sure for people watching, and maybe even for you.
They've shut off by now. They're flipped over to the ShamWow guy.
Brought to you by Coors Light.
I've got a camera here. And then, hey, in my camera, you can see the camera guy. I don't know if I like that.
It's good. It's edgy. It's counter.
Is
It's
it?
alternative. It's meme. Is that a word? Is that how they say that?
If you
I see it in print on the computer.
Meme?
Or meme or something. I don't know.
Mimi? What?
It's something that skinny hipsters who wear T-shirts and have scarves will say to each other in reference to something
Meme?
quasi-artistic.
And they say meme?
I don't know what they say. I've never heard. I don't hang out with them. They're not the type
don't?
of people
Let
I
me see your
enjoy
pants.
hanging
No,
out with.
those are regular.
They're irksome, those people. So I don't hang out. I see it printed like on Twitter and stuff. It
Yeah.
comes, somebody makes reference to something being.
Right.
I think it's M-E-M-E. How would you say that?
Meme.
That's how I would say
Mimi.
it. Yeah.
Maybe that's probably is a Twitter thing. It's just so much about me,
Yeah, exactly.
me. Tweeting about me.
Me.
You're
That's what
tweeting
it
now.
is. I'm a tweet nut.
Kind of.
My wife always says, Twitter down. I'm nuts with it. I'm forever
Twitter
tweeting.
down?
Yeah, Twitter down. Enough now. Twitter
That
down.
was almost an imitation of your wife, actually.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Yeah, like it's.
I didn't know I could do impressions.
Okay. How about who's Mork from New York?
Wow.
Robin Williams.
You're really peripherally show business, aren't you? Who's that guy from outer space that has the thing on Happy Days?
Oh yeah, a couple of
Sure,
us.
I know the whole backstory. The fight with Fonzie, I know it all. I had nowhere to be at 4 o'clock after school.
Yeah, what was your favorite shows growing up then?
I got lucky, you know, when I grew up I only had 2 channels.
Yeah.
We had the CKBI out
You
of
grew
Prince
up in
Albert.
Saskatchewan.
That's true. That is true. You have done your research. I don't know where you found that nugget. Where'd you dig that out? You're like Brian Linehan pulling out these cryptic nuggets of info. But
How many of the kids watching you think have any clue who Brian Lanahan means?
It doesn't matter.
He was.
I don't know what Memi means.
He was the most iconic one-on-one talk show guy of our time.
And he was famous for knowing, like having a creepy depth of knowledge about people.
Right.
Now you had a toothache when you were 9. What?
Right.
He's famous for that.
And
Martin
now,
Short used to do a parody of him.
did he?
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah. That's
on
right.
SCTV.
Yeah. And now people do talk shows from vans, and
And we talk about talk shows. That's where it's at. That in itself, I think, is what the kids call Mimi. When it's self-referential. I think that's what it is.
What's your, if we're talking about talk shows, what talk show is the one that you really want to do?
Letterman. I would love to. That's the high watermark, right?
Yeah.
He's the boss.
Right.
He's nobody does it better.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I want to do stand up on Letterman.
How can we make that happen?
I don't know. I don't think we can.
I'm going to call. I'm being serious. I'm going to call.
Talk.
I'm gonna
Don't call, because what's going to happen is you're going to ruin this for me.
You know my.
I'm close to getting it, and then you're going to horn in and wreck it. I'm going to blow up the theater if you don't put them on. Oh, great. He's a psycho. No. You just let me take care of this.
That's probably wise. This
No,
has been
you
too
know-
much fun, and if you want to win awards like I want to and be perceived as credible, sometimes you got to ask the tough questions.
Yeah. As opposed to being credible, you just want to be perceived as credible.
That's it.
I'd like to be perceived as somebody who might not be lying.
You're one of the country's most beloved funny men, and you love living in Canada still.
Oh, yeah.
And do you ever go down? Do you ever go down to LA? Do you ever?
Yeah, all the time. I have agents in LA and representation down there, and I have connections down there.
Yeah.
I remember being down in the States talking to a guy, Kevin Rooney, who I admire very much, very funny stand-up and a great writer, you know,
Okay.
good sitcom pedigree behind him. And he was saying to me, "Oh, it sounds good and everything, but you have to change it. You have to just call it gas. It just has to be gas." And I was saying, it's not a Broadway show. It could be corner gas. There's nothing wrong with that. No, that's wrong.
Right.
Just it's got to be gas. It'll never fly with corner gas. So I wonder how successful would the show be if I hadn't pegged that corner. It would be a rocket ride. I'd be talking to you in a gold suit right now if I just called it gas.
Hiccups obviously was the next series that you got into.
Yeah, we did
And-
26 episodes of that.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been picked up for a third, but that's too bad.
Do you think that your success, almost your expectations of what you're going to deliver then, in a sense, was your Achilles heel?
Maybe it came hot on the heels of corner gas.
Right.
I think it came too close to corner gas. It would have been nice to have a bit more time for people to shift
It
gears.
was quick, right?
Yeah.
Right. Because then all of a sudden they want corner gas again, and it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice to have a little more time in between so people could make an adjustment.
Nancy Robertson is your wife.
I know. How about that?
Okay, just in case you didn't know, I want you to know
I
that
read that on Twitter,
That
too.
I know, and she's in Hiccups
Yeah,
and hilarious.
she is. She's one of the most naturally funny people I've ever met.
There's so much to talk to you about, and there really is only so much time to do it.
Saying like I'm shooting a movie in Vancouver this fall, hopefully. I'm doing a new TV series, hopefully.
Oh, there sounds like there
No
might be some
details.
parts for
I
me.
can't give
There
you
might be
any
some parts for me in this.
Might is a good way to put that.
If I'm going to
nice
be desperate, I'm
open-ended-
just going to go. I'm going to lay it all out there, Brent. I'm gonna.
So
A movie, really? Like
Yeah.
a Brent Butt movie, or you have a production company or
I
something,
do.
right?
Sparrow Media.
And then you guys are going to produce all kinds of stuff.
I call the company Sparrow Media because a sparrow is something that doesn't feel the need to fly south. That's the.
That would have been
crux
such a
behind
good
it.
question for me to ask you. Why did you call?
I got us there. Don't worry about it.
You are literally the best guest that I could ever have.
I'm a co-pilot here.
I don't have to be good at this at all, and it's going to come off like a great interview. People are going to maybe say this is one of the greatest Brent Butt interviews ever.
Brought to you by Coors Light.
You know what we're going to do?
What are we going to do now?
I'm going to let you leave,
All right.
and I'm going to carry on and still try to track down George Clooney.
Well, why wouldn't you? You'd be a fool not to.
Right? I mean, from what I understand, there is another place he's going to be at, and I know about it. And so,
Consistency of matter.
so I'm just
He
going to...
will be in another place.
But do you think persistence is that the smart move?
Yeah.
Or should I just say, forget it, I got Brent Butt here, this is a great show, and this is it?
Persistence is the thing to do. You should track him down.
So keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it.
Keep going.
Absolutely. Keep going.
So I think it's not till tomorrow, but it's going to take me a while to drive there anyways.
You probably
you
got
wanna-
security and stuff.
Do you
don't
want
have to bypass?
Oh no, I'm good at that. I'm slippity slidey.
Yeah. That's how I met you. I found you in my hotel room today,
That's true.
trying to break my password on my laptop.
But the thought
It
of
was
you,
actually knee slapping. I can't top it. This is when I should go now.
No, you really
It's the high watermark.
this is maybe the best interview you've ever done. It's clearly the most fun I've had
Fishing for compliments
all
again.
day. And thank you, Brent Butt. No hugs,
No.
handshake. We do the bird.
I don't know that looks horrible. Whatever that is. I want no part of whatever that was.
My mic just fell off. He's the greatest guy. He's the funniest guy I could ever want to meet and talk to. I hope you've enjoyed this. Say goodbye, Brent. We're carrying on.
Thanks for everything.
Brought to you by Coors Light.
Okay, so the show is back on the road again, and I'll have to track down next week's guest, George Clooney.